Hello there, my very good friends. Andy here from WhatCulture alongside my very good friend Adam from WhatCulture. We are here to preview the entirety of SummerSlam 2025. Huge show, 2 nights, 1 video. We're cramming it all together. Saturday's matches first, Sunday's matches after that. No particular order to the matches themselves, as you will soon find out. Let's get it going. Back in a sec. Okay, we're opening this one up in Back Bump City, baby. How do you feel this one's going to go? Sami Cross? No, Sami Zayn and Karrion Kross.
I mean, it kind of depends on whether or not Karrion Kross is staying with the company, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because at the time of recording, at least, we have no idea. And it feels like if he's leaving, obviously Sami Zayn beats him on the way out. However, I'm a big Karrion Kross fan, and I believe that this may be the lowest point for, and he's about to start heading very rapidly upwards, Sami Zayn, because he's my pick for the Royal Rumble for 2026. So maybe Kross needs this more in terms of if he's sticking around and, you know, might actually finally be proven right or victorious in one of his feuds with people. Because so often he can sit there and say, well, I'll take credit for that eventual heel turn 5 years later, but he never seems to get the W. I love Kross. I mean, I love Sami Zayn, obviously, but I'm going to go Karrion on this one.
He has to win a big match eventually, right? Although wrestling, traditionally the babyface wins in the end. I'm with you. I think it largely depends on his status. He's been very guarded about that. I believe he said something the other day to where it was like, the more information is coming when we know it as well. So I assume that he's in the process or whatever. But I think he's going to win as well. I do think he's going to stay in WWE. I think it's the best place for him. And the level to which he's gotten over recently shows that. So yeah, we're going two for two on Kross.
Yeah, maybe there's a spot where like he tries to introduce the lead pipe or whatever it is that he's been using, the steel rod, and it gets knocked out of his hands, and sort of a reflection of what's going to happen in night 2, whether or not Sami will really go to those lengths, and maybe he doesn't. And that's what costs him the match, and that's a sign of, will Cody pull the trigger when he has the chance in the main event of night 2?
And will you pull the trigger right now on this tremendous deal that we have?
What's a deal?
NordVPN, sign up right now. It's open until the middle of August. At this stage, 76% off, 4 months for a free $50 Amazon gift card. If you are anywhere in the world and you want to access your shows when you're on the road, you need this in your life. Back with the next match in just a sec. Up next, we got the Flipping Judgment Day versus the Nut Friends, which is exactly how we just described it privately. What do you think of this one?
I've got to say, I cannot believe the job they have done with Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss being put together as a team. I think they're sensational, and I think if you'd have asked me about this a month ago, I'd have gone, valiant challenge, and then they lose, and Charlotte turns on Alexa.
Split up, feud.
Nope, put the titles on them. I'm really excited to see when Liv Morgan returns, to see what happens with Roxanne and Raquel and stuff, and maybe they win the tag titles back down the road. But no, they're red hot, Charlotte and Alexa, and I think, yes, there's space for them to feud. But there's potential for that to last until WrestleMania next year, let's be honest. Give them the tag titles.
Yeah, I totally agree. When something gets over to this extent, I think you have to run with it.
Yes.
Right? I think you have to capitalise and strike while the iron is hot. That is the cliche I was looking for with this one.
You wanted people to cheer for Charlotte. They are now.
Compare the pop that Charlotte got Evolution to the reception she was getting earlier in the year in the Tiffany Stratton program when things went a little bit awry. It's quite remarkable. It's quite a remarkable bit of business. Sometimes it's easy to be cynical about these thrown together tag teams. Sometimes they just work, and this is a tremendous example of that. It's like the most recent example I can think of is something like Heath Slater and Rhino. This is better.
Yes.
Maybe not quite as funny, but it's better and it's bigger names and all of that stuff. But yeah, I'd put Alexa and Charlotte over as well.
Unless Alexa's too busy eating like squirty cheese or something, and then that's what costs them the match, obviously.
Yeah.
So you
gotta watch out with those cheeses, man.
That's an option.
Never be a cheesy weasel.
I can easily see the Judgment Day leaving with the tag titles again here because of shenanigans. I do like the image of them with not all the gold, but a lot of the gold.
Big gold.
And maybe Dom gets involved to help, furthering that relationship with Roxanne Perez. But no, I agree. Just strike while the iron's hot, put the tag titles on the Not Friends.
And you'd imagine that Liv Morgan's return is still quite a while away yet.
Yeah.
You got plenty of time to maybe cycling back to putting the belts back on Raquel and Roxanne.
Roxanne Perez could be world champion by that point.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Who the heck knows? Next match. So we have confirmed today that Drew McIntyre is back in the United States, which means our next match here, which is Drew and Logan Paul versus Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. We know that's just a funny name.
Yeah.
We know that this is almost certainly going ahead now. You can remove any tension you may have had about bad replacements for Drew or maybe it not being as good and all of that stuff. The fresh off, what was it, Kimmel or
Fallon, one of the Jimmys.
One of the Jimmys.
Yeah.
There's Jimmys all over the place. I got a lot of love for the Jimmys of the world.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're fresh off that angle, which was, I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
It's not everyone's cup of tea, but it is mine. So, and look, it's really easy to be cynical about when celebrities come in and all of this stuff, and I think Jelly Roll mostly gets a bad rep because his name's Jelly Roll. It's a funny name.
Yeah.
But he's thrown himself into it. I think he's going to do a good job.
I think he's going to surprise a few people here. I saw a thing the other day. He was in the audience for NXT, and I don't know if he's making notes or what, but apparently, he's been in the PC, he's been doing some stuff, and he's allegedly said some people may well be surprised by what happens with him at SummerSlam. The other 3/4 of this match I have no doubt about. You can feel how you feel about Logan Paul, but he's an incredible athlete, and Randy and Drew, obviously sensational performers. I think the babyfaces have to win. It's celebrity fair at WrestleMania, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't be surprised, or you will be, but Jelly Roll could pull out, like what was he did, like a Boss Man Slam or a Black Hole Slam or something he did recently to Logan as well. I just thought, as we were talking about this, because I was thinking celebrities WrestleMania, is like Cardi B going to get involved in this? Because I feel like she was definitely mentioned as like hosting, and then I haven't heard anything about her for 6 months, it feels like.
Yeah, who knows? You never know. Like, celebrity schedules are all over the shop, aren't they?
Canadian Destroyer by Cardi B.
Yeah, a Jelly Roll does a space flying tiger drop.
Yeah.
Why the hell not? As a barometer of quality, for me, Action Bronson is the line. You just have to be as good as Action Bronson was, which means all you really have to do is run into people, do it credibly, and then hit an Oklahoma Stampede, and you're good.
If it's Jelly Roll pinning Drew McIntyre, the rumours about Drew McIntyre's potential absence at SummerSlam will be even more interesting. He lost his passport. It was very convenient, actually.
Yeah. Wonder how that happened. But I agree. I'm going with the baby faces. Yeah. You're probably not bringing in a Jelly Roll to lose, unless he wants to do business. Jelly Roll's
Jelly Roll wins
student of the game
via an RKO to Logan Paul might be quite nice.
That might be quite good. He loves wrestling.
Yeah,
he's going to do a
lovely moment.
He's going to do a good job. Also, congratulations on the weight loss. That's tremendous work. I would love to know your secrets, man. Please. But yeah, good stuff. Big one. Women's title match. Jade Cargill challenging Tiffany Stratton. I think low-key, maybe one of the harder matches to predict on this show.
I agree. I think it's fairly obvious, actually, to be honest. Obviously, Naomi cashes in here and wins the... Yeah.
Double up.
I don't know what's... I was very set of like, well, I know what's going to be happening in that match at SummerSlam, and then Naomi cashed in at Evolution, and I was like, excuse me? So now it is very intriguing.
Well, she could use Seth Rollins.
Indeed, yeah. He's not using it, is he?
Yeah,
he's definitely not using it over this weekend.
Steals it from Braun Breaker.
Jade, probably. I think there's more potential of what you can do with Jade winning it here, and then Bianca Belair potentially coming. She's already come back, but factoring that in, because I think Bianca Belair is one of the best people to put in the ring with Jade Cargill, because she's going to get the best match out of her. And again, I think it's a reminder of... You don't want to weaken, like we've talked about in the past when they're like, oh, you've won the Rumble, but you don't win the WrestleMania. You don't want to weaken the King and Queen of the Ring gimmicks. So just do it. Just go for it, in my opinion. Yeah. And, Tiffany Stratton, I've enjoyed her title reign. I'm a big fan of hers. And I sense that there's going to be more down the road. You could easily run this one back. Although not... Oh, no, actually, no, that wouldn't work. I was about to say not straight away. But yes, there's a hole in Clash in Paris that she could work, because it's Naomi facing... Well, potentially Naomi facing Stephanie Vaquer. Let's not spoil our predictions for later. But I could easily see this going either way, like you say. Yeah,
I would pick Jade as well. We've agreed on every prediction so far, which is unusual.
Well, we've got loads of teams in a TLC match. We'll find a difference there.
Yeah, that's a coin flip of a match. But I agree. I think they're going to do some kind of tandem thing with Jade and Naomi, because they have that rivalry where it'll be they're both champions. and now they'll be taking shots over the brands at each other, going, I'm the best, blah, 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 blah. They could probably do something at Survivor Series.
I was just thinking that, yeah.
That would be a good way of fitting the theme of that show, T-shirt time. But actually, like, it would make a lot of sense in storyline as well because of their history together. So, who's the best woman?
Because it's War Games as well. You could have one red ring and one blue ring.
Yeah.
Ugh, come on.
Yeah, all kinds of things you can do.
Yeah, I think
all kinds of fun options. Jade Cargill winning her first WWE Championship. We are predicting that, yes. If you've no idea what we're doing there, enjoy Paul Heyman's face on this graphic.
Are you right there, Paul?
Yeah, he's hidden behind my ugly face now. Sorry, Paul. Okay, big one. I mean, maybe a potential opener because it's so huge.
Yeah.
It's colossal, obviously. Roman Reigns is in it. It's going to get a 6-minute entrance. It's going to be grandiose. That's Roman Reigns' catchphrase, famously. Roman Reigns and Jey Uso versus the Brons. I am really looking forward to this, especially after the angle on Raw.
Yes.
Where Bronson Reed took Roman Reigns' shoes.
Yeah, he's going to come out with shoeless at MetLife Stadium.
That's his only pair, man. He's hasn't got any more. That angle really amplified my interest in this and my anticipation for it. But I mean, it's huge stars, obviously. I think that the Seth Rollins stable in general could do with a bit of a reconfiguration. I think you could do with more things that make the Brons look like just destroyers of worlds. They, to me, should be pushed like the Road Warriors were back in the day. I think that angle on Raw was a great step towards doing that. I'm putting them over.
Wow.
I'm maybe going with my heart rather than my head here, but they are so awesome and imposing and scary when they're in their moment like they were in that segment that I feel like if you have one of them pin Jay, he can be pinned.
Yeah.
No problem. You probably don't want to pin Roman, but if you do that, technically they've got a win over Roman Reigns. I think that would really push them over the edge.
Yeah, it'd be a huge, huge call. I think they're going to go with Roman and Jey personally, but
You're probably right.
I could easily see it happening. I like you say, I'm far more invested in it. I love all 4 people involved in this match. I was always looking forward to it, but I did go in with a bit of like, right, okay, let's get to the bit where spear, splash, etc., etc., and the Bloodline family continue their successes.
The Bloodline family.
But and me and Havler talked about this earlier on in the week. We thought, they're going to even save Bron hitting a spear on Roman till this show, and they certainly didn't do that on Monday night. So I could buy them just going, you know what? Yeah, because I really like the fact that Bronson and Bron Breakker have gone kind of from strength to strength when Seth hasn't been there.
Yeah.
Arguably, the Seth Riders have got better without him being there, and I sense he may be coming back rather soon. So them going, I don't know what you've been up to, but we've been beating Roman Reigns and Jey Uso would be amazing. But I think Roman, especially with the direction, I think they're going to be going in with Roman and Seth. It was the match, as we saw with the leaked WrestleMania 41 card, they wanted to do this year. And they can just do a version of that with the world title. You know, this is a step presumably towards some sort of War Games match, potentially. But I don't think, as much as I'd like to see Bron and Bronson stand tall again, I don't think they do that on Saturday.
Have some balls. Go on.
Yeah.
Do the thing. Why not? It'd be fun.
It would be really fun.
I think you're probably right, Phil. But I'm sticking with my prediction anyway. We've got to have one that's different.
Yeah.
Anyway, next. Big one, probably the main event. No, it is the main event of night one. Gunther, obviously, defending the World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk. CM Punk is getting his world title match.
Yes.
I think it'll be an exemplary. I think it'll be the WWE match of the year, probably so far for me. For me and my sensibilities, I think this will be excellent. Haven't loved the build. I think it's been a bit light. I would have liked some more deep, but I mean, maybe they're going multiple shows.
This is what I said on the podcast. Yeah, I felt like if you are going to do this, you can. Gunther and CM Punk works from now forever, probably. Yeah,
exactly. You could if you are going to do this again, and presumably they might. You could save the personal stuff for then.
Yeah, they've set it up as like Punk's like, you're great, but I want your title. Yeah, that's all it is so far.
A little bit more heat would have been cool, but not that they were bad segments. They just weren't like, I'm not more hyped because they happened, to put it that way. However, I was already extremely hyped, so it probably doesn't matter. What do you think is happening in this match?
I will never sit here and say CM Punk
loses.
Yeah, I have to go with the Punker. Yeah. I think there's a story you can tell, like you say, especially if you want to do a trilogy, WWE. Have you ever thought about doing that? A series of matches between these two where maybe Gunther goes in and potentially takes Punk a little bit lightly.
Yeah.
Like, I just beat everybody. I beat, yes, I lost against Jey Uso, but that was, an anomaly. I just beat Goldberg. 2 weeks later, I've got to face you. Come on, you're a bit old. You're a bit crap now. You're a bit slower. And then Punk beats him. And then you could potentially go in a different direction. Now, as with several world title matches on this show, there is the lingering of, he's obviously injured and he's out forever. So, unfortunately, that can't happen here. But Seth Rollins could cash in at some point.
Yeah, well, that was my twist in the tail on this match. Mm-hmm. I think that CM Punk is going to beat Gunther. I think he's going to be crowned the world champion. He's going to have his first world title in the Fed since 2014 or whenever it was.
Mm-hmm. No, that sounds about right.
My ears are broken. Mm-hmm. Just like my ears, actually. But yeah, we get to this. I think Punk will win. I think it'll be this big cathartic moment, and I think Seth Rollins is going to ruin it.
Good point.
I do think that they are working the injury to an extent.
Yes.
I do think that him wearing a brace and on the crutches, like we've seen the photos, I think that there's an element of workery to that. I think that it was quite telling that Triple H brought up Seth Rollins during the Evolution press conference without even being asked. Mm-hmm. He just said it. That giving him an update on the injury. So I'm sure he is hurting. Every wrestler is hurting, but I think it's worked to a degree. And I think CM Punk's world title reign is going to last about 2 minutes.
Yeah, I could easily see that happening. I think the benefit you have with both the men's world title matches, because of this briefcase, is people aren't going to be watching either of those matches going, when is Seth coming out? You could see it happen with both of them, but they both can exist with no cash-in whatsoever, even a threat of a cash-in.
Yeah.
However, having said that, I really want CM Punk to win, and until he is safe and sound and the show's gone off the air and Netflix has said goodbye, I will not be confident that CM Punk leaves MetLife as a world champion. Gunther could win as well.
Yeah.
Like, you could easily tell the story of, like, can Punk get it done? He's now had several opportunities of getting there and just fallen short. And potentially that leads to him going I have to get it done in the Rumble. And I don't think he wins the Rumble next year, let's be perfectly honest. But yeah, I'd be happy with either of those people leaving.
Me too.
Or any of the three leaving as world champion. Yeah. But I'll go, please, CM Punk not only wins, but the show finishes with CM Punk as world champion.
Yeah. I'm going with CM Punk wins and then it finishes with the Chef. I think
I'd be fine with that too.
Yeah, because the whole point of the whole core of this feud has been that CM Punk finds Seth Rollins really annoying. Well, what could annoy him more than stealing his title? I think that sometimes cash-ins are not my favorite thing in the world these days. This is a really good one. And
a hell of a way to establish a 2-night SummerSlam. What a moment.
Exactly. Capital M moment,
yes,
I might say. We'll be back with Night 2 in just 1 second. Purple wipe. Night 2, no idea what the opener is going to be, but the opener for the purpose of this video is Dominic Mysterio defending the Intercontinental Championship against AJ Styles, a match that has been brewing for ages. AJ's been dressed up as concierges, janitors, all this stuff. He's just proving his skill as a general tradesman in the WWE universe, meaning that when he retires, there will be no shortage. It could maybe be
good point.
Yeah, it could maybe be the next Gary the Goat Garbutt. Who knows? Who's winning, brother?
It better be Dom.
Yeah, I think so too.
There was a bit, obviously, Styles pinned Dom on Raw this week, and there was a bit we talked about on the podcast where I was like, I think the crowd obviously will be understandably behind AJ Styles. Dominic Mysterio is still a heel, despite the Austin pop that I saw him get at AAA recently and the reaction he obviously got from winning the title at WrestleMania this year. I sense there's going to be a point in this match where everyone's going to be like, yay, go on AJ, don't win. No, you don't win.
Yeah.
So I think maybe you get to the point where he has him set up for the finish for the phenomenal forearm. Maybe it's Roxanne Perez getting involved here to basically, all I'm trying to do is get this match rematched at Clash in Paris for obvious reasons.
Yes.
The fans love AJ Styles in France for one reason or another. Il est vraiment. So I think that's an obvious next step. It's literally the same month.
It is.
As SummerSlam. So it's not going to be a difficult ask, and shenanigans. We haven't booked much shenanigans so far on this card, so that's fine. And it's the Judgment Day. Come on, they've got to have some.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Dominic's going to retain. I think that AJ might win it in Paris if they do it again. I don't think that AJ needs to beat him at SummerSlam at all. No. So I'm going with Dominic as well. Dominic Mysterio.
What a guy.
What a scumbag. Oh, he was a babyface at WrestleMania. 21.
We all love him.
It was amazing. He ran back to the ring for another pop.
I think he has a world title reign in him at some point, but who knows?
AAA Mega Campion, perhaps?
Maybe.
Who knows? We'll see. Steel Cage up
Yes.
next. One of the more heavily gimmicked matches on the show. A couple of these on this Sunday night in particular. Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu. How's this one going to go?
Well, obviously, with it being a steel cage match, Solo Sikoa is all alone. The MFTs cannot get involved.
There's no way.
In this whatsoever.
Simply no way.
Jacob Fatu is going to hit an insane moonsault off the top of his cage, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's winning. Obviously, he's winning. It felt like the moment they started interacting for the US title, anytime anyone pitched taking the title off Jacob Fatu, it was only temporarily, though, unless you're putting him in a world title picture, which you are eventually, but not quite yet.
No, not quite yet.
So I would not be surprised if, you get the involvement of Tonga Loa and Tola Tonga and, probably Jimmy Uso to balance things out as well.
The thing you're forgetting is that we've cynically said that no one will interfere in a cage match. The thing is that Tola Tonga does not need to physically get in the cage. He could just lift over the top, pick up Solo Sikoa, put him outside, and he's won.
Good
so
point.
There you go. For a real prediction, I'm going to be a bit contrarian. I never do that. Never, ever would do that. And I'm going to go with Solo Sikoa, right? I'm going to go with a Tama Tonga full-on return, because we'll never have interference in these Bloodline matches either. And that's another barrier for Jacob to eventually come back and win the belt. Is it what I would book if I was the man writing the show? No, I would put Jacob over. However, I think that it's another wrinkle to where you can keep this rolling for a little bit longer, and then maybe they have a Bloodline rules match that has another one.
Yes.
That has 400 people coming in.
Yeah, with the War Games on the horizon still this year, you always think, well maybe, and there's a lot of people in this, they're not the new Bloodline anymore, they're the MFTs. So you maybe need an out. You're right there. Maybe it isn't just as simple as Jacob Fatu hits an insane moonsault and gets the win. Do you know what I just thought? Maybe they do, all the involvement on the outside of JC Mateo as well. I forgot to mention him.
Yes.
Maybe they're going to tear Jimmy Uso's arms and legs off like he's a fly or something, right?
Ooh, daddy long legs.
And with all that distraction, Solo Sikoa has managed to scarper up to the top of because he's going to obviously try and get the win by just getting out of the cage. Maybe they do the Bobby Lashley, Umaga, smash the wall spot, and then Jacob Fatu sort of rolls onto the outside before Solo can get down, because he's just like, what have I just watched?
What happened?
So he knocks the wall of the cage onto everyone on the outside, including Jimmy Uso in my booking, I suppose, technically. Sorry, Jimmy.
Sorry, Jim.
But he wins, but Solo's like, well, you didn't pin me, so they can run it back.
So we can
Who
have
knows?
another go, yeah.
Jacob Fatu leaves as champion for me.
Okay, I'm going to go the opposite, because why not?
Yeah.
It's more fun. Mix it up. Mix up your life. Women's Intercontinental Championship is next. Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria, one of the better in-ring feuds for WWE in this year. They've made it really personal and heated as well in the
Becky
segments.
Stompers.
Yeah, absolutely. I did like the angle this past week to where Lyra knew the run-in was coming and just beat the crap out of her. That was well telegraphed.
Yes. I've loved this feud this year.
It's been good stuff. I also felt a bit sorry for Becky, because I think that kendo stick was the wrong way around, brother. That would have hurt. That would have hurt like heck. But
smashing all those splinters everywhere.
yeah, and no Bailey involvement this time around, obviously, but the in-ring caliber has been very high. I think it's yet another example of Becky Lynch stepping into a situation and elevating it and elevating the people involved. Similar to what she did in NXT when she was down there the other year. I thought that was a very productive little run. We're seeing the same here. It's really established Lyra and her personality and character and all that stuff. It's really established the belt itself as well. I'm going to pick the babyface winning in the end here. I don't think they necessarily need to do that. I think there's a lot of money in a Becky Lynch heel title run, but I think as like a next elevatory, is that a word? Step,
yeah, it is now.
Moving up, I'm going to go with Lyra.
I think this is the hardest match to call on the card because of, as you pointed out there, I think these two have been amazing. But I think, as I've sat here and you've talked about it, and also to be contrarian, I'm going to go Becky through Bayley costing Lyra Valkyria.
Okay.
Because who's the person who's constantly stood in the way of Bayley finally getting title shots and what have you? Not stood in the way, but accidentally. And
Sasha Banks.
It is Lyra Valkyria, and if Lyra loses this, I'm right in thinking she can never challenge for the title whilst Becky's still champion. Bayley, I really am intrigued into what they're going to do next with her, with what they did on Raw this week, with her being like, yeah, I didn't work WrestleMania for obvious reasons, and now I'm not on the card for SummerSlam. What do I do?
What's going on, yeah.
So maybe it's a Bayley heel turn. Who knows, but I think it doesn't really matter who comes out of this as champion in terms of how much this is, not only elevated these two performers even more, Becky really helping out Lyra yet again, but the belt has been really brought up by this. You know, there was a period of time when it was like Lyra was the champion and she was having fun matches, but no one really cared in the crowds, did they? It was like until the finish, people were like, yep, IC title match, whatever. Meanwhile, like the US title with Chelsea Green was loads of fun. Now it feels like this is far surpassed the US title.
Yeah, definitely. It's on a completely different level.
US title's on the SmackDown before SummerSlam, isn't it?
Of course. Not even on the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I totally agree. And I think that once again, if I ever hear the words Becky Hogan one more time, I'm gonna complain online.
Yeah.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Come on, Becky. Oh
no. Sorry, Becky. Bye. Okay, so lots of people to talk about here. SmackDown World Tag Team titles, I always get the name wrong. 6 teams. It's been trending in this direction for ages. We obviously had the very good TLC match after WrestleMania. We're getting another one here. There's 12 dudes in it this time. All kinds of stuff going on. Look, it's going to be a complete spot fest.
Yep.
And look, that sometimes that's awesome. So no beef with that. You've promised a very good take on this match. So
a controversial take, I think, perhaps. I'm very happy they've got on this card because obviously, with what we saw, I mean, it's difficult because it's like, would they have been able to do what they did if they were allowed on the WrestleMania card with time constraints and what have you? But that TLC match, they had on was it the SmackDown after or the SmackDown after? Around WrestleMania time when they had that amazing TLC match, obviously, I thought, this obviously justifies all these teams getting on there. But my take, please just don't take this the wrong way. Anyone but the Wyatt Six.
Okay.
Wow. I'm a fan of Gacy and Loomis, but I think all of the teams on there justify leaving with the tag titles more, and he's just cleaner.
Yeah.
I'm gonna back my boys Fraxium from their time in NXT. I think they're just so talented.
Yeah.
There could even be a turn here, like Andrade's like, my face cost us the match, you idiot, to lead eventually to the eventual reuniting of. Remember the Lucha Bros were a thing.
Yeah.
But. I mean, I personally don't think the Street Profits should ever have lost these tag titles. So
you going with them?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, sure. I think it's a good opportunity to take the titles off of the Wyatt Six if you're going to go in that direction without pinning them.
Yes.
Obviously, it's difficult when supernatural adjacent characters. They're a bit harder. You don't want to beat them like a drum, basically. Although it was quite interesting, they've kind of just adapted into like stooging heels, which is quite. It's not as heavily gimmicked as it once was.
Yeah, we're using our spooky tactic of pulling the referee out.
Untying the turnbuckle cover and stuff. Which look, I like that stuff. I like old school stooging, so I'm into it. To me, this is a dartboard match, as in just throw the dart and see where it lands. It's not like there's huge story implications here. So apart from the ones you've described with Andrade and stuff. So for that reason, I'm just going to go with Fraxium because I like them the most.
Yes.
There you go. And then the Street Profits. Why not? 4 winners, technically. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to know what people have got for this one because it's so up in the air.
Maybe you're a bit more decisive than us. Shades of WrestleMania 41 here.
Yes.
Women's triple threat. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Obviously the lineup's different here. Rhea Ripley, IYO SKY, Naomi. Women's title on the line. This comes product of many, many months of shenanigans between these three with Rio and Ian.
Yes.
Ian Sky.
I formed a tag team called Rio between Rhea and IYO SKY. So
there you go.
Say what you like.
And obviously, Ripley and Sky have been tangling all year. Naomi's been on the ascension. She won Money in the Bank. She cashed in. It's a really interesting match in that technically this was what happened at Evolution. Technically it's a triple threat when you cash in.
Good point, yeah,
right?
yeah.
But we're getting the full match version of it here, which is really cool.
No pressure, yeah.
Yeah,
it's one of the best matches of the year.
Exactly. And also the women's triple threat on Evolution was tremendous.
Yeah.
So like the bar for women's triple threats this year, that's why I mentioned WrestleMania 41, is very high in WWE. So I don't think there's any reason to think that this won't be excellent as well. I think that the story here is probably another Rhea IYO singles match coming out of it. They develop issues in this match, and maybe that leads to the finish. And who better to scoop up an opportunistic heel victory than Naomi, who's my pick.
Yeah, my pick too. I think the other two women in this match definitely need to proceed with caution, because Naomi's going to fight Stephanie Vacquet at Clash in Paris. It's an open and shut case for me. This one is very simple, but I have no doubt that I will probably bite on about 6 different near falls and go, okay, I guess IYO SKY's winning the title back.
Okay,
Hamlet suggested, Rhea and IYO become a tag team after this, which I really quite like too.
Yeah.
But Naomi, you do not have her win Money in the Bank and have one of the best cash-ins in recent memory, in my opinion, to then just
lose.
Just lose.
Yeah, just lose a couple of weeks
later. Here's an advanced prediction for Clash in Paris. I think she should lose there either, as much as I'm a huge, huge fan of Stephanie Vacquet. Naomi has to retain here. And like you say, the story of Rhea and IYO fighting forever.
They don't like each other.
And Rhea still not being able to get the job done. Like, maybe there's even a spot where, I don't know, she hits a double riptide, but she's so obsessed with, I can pin IYO SKY, that maybe costs her the match. I don't know, but Naomi leaves as champion.
I totally agree. I don't really see much of a case for another option.
No.
Naomi deserves the ball. I think that you don't need a title if you're going to do Ripley and Sky again.
No.
There's lots of options coming out of this.
Vacquet needs a heel to face in Paris
Absolutely.
too.
Absolutely. You can't really do a face-to-face there because it'll cause all kinds of alignment complications and stuff. But you never know. With these European crowds, it could get wacky.
What's proceed with caution in French?
Yeah. Let us know. If you are from France,
bonjour.
Let us know in the comment section below, because I sure as hell don't know. We only speak one language here. We're idiots.
Barely do that.
Everywhere else, we're so far behind. But we'll be back with the main event in a second.
Woo-hoo-hoo!
Biggest match of the weekend. Probably the biggest match of the year so far. There's a fair bit of pressure on Cody and Cena here, I think, from a quality standpoint, because WrestleMania, their main event, wasn't received particularly well. Travis Scott won't be involved in this one, presumably.
That's what they want you to think.
Yeah, you never know. Maybe they're just working the sheets, brother.
Yeah.
So, it's got that going for it straight up. But I also think they will both have a bit of a chip on their shoulder.
Yes.
Cody in particular will have looked at the WrestleMania match and maybe go, I can see why people weren't as much into this. I'm going to do something cool here. So I do think it'll be better than that. I always say it was an interesting one to analyze from the standpoint of being there, because in the building, I don't have a critical bone in my body when I'm in the building. You could serve me just a plate of dog food, and I'd be like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Got any more?
Yeah. But it's a completely different energy when you're watching at home, obviously. It's a different experience.
I've not watched this back. I couldn't do it to myself.
Yeah, me neither. I will never do that. But I think this stands to be a lot better than the first one, for sure.
Stip helps as well, doesn't it?
Stip does help. Who have you got?
Not John Cena.
Just fell off my chair.
I think this has been a fun experiment, but let's have him start turning babyface, and as we enter into this sort of final third of his run, I think
probably not that. But
so I could easily see Cody leaving the championship, but I think potentially this could be where we see a Seth Rollins cash in, furthered by nothing happening on night one with Gunther and Punk, as we sort of talked about with your predictions. I could easily see that, because the whole thing has been the reverse of the Naomi thing.
Yes.
Naomi's been like, Jade Cargill, I'm coming, Tiffany Stratton, surprise, I went for this one. You could sort of copy that here with having him be, he's already been involved previously in John Cena stuff. Like, I really thought one of the best moments of this heel run has been the Punk feud for John Cena. So it helps that. And I know we've had moments that break the rules because you just do a ref bump in all the matches with John Cena, it seems. But the street fight stipulation allows for far more. The element of like Cody being like, I'm not going to hesitate now. Like, I literally signed your unconscious body into this match. Yeah. I mean, Cena has an out if he loses here. I literally didn't sign up for this.
Yes.
But whether it's Cody or whether it's Seth, and I'm going to go with Seth here, leaving as champion.
So we've both got Seth leaving as a champion.
As a champion, yes, but I think, and through the match, I think you can tell the story. You know, yes, Cody's willing to go that far, and maybe John isn't anymore because he's had that. That's the story they've been trying to tell, and you need to start doing that because you've probably got about 6 dates left for him.
Absolutely.
So by the time you get to Perth and things like that, you want him to be a baby face, and you know, final stretch of this run, I think it's just going to be far better for the way people receive his matches. Look, it was a very ambitious idea. It looked great on paper from Elimination Chamber, but let's just say we can finish this on a high with someone who's not John Cena leaving SummerSlam with the world title.
And I think it's going to be Cody. If I'm going to stay consistent with my cash-in on night one,
Good point, yeah.
I think Cody should just win. Cena's clearly going to be a face before the end of his run. I don't think he's going out as a heel in Boston in December. That would be interesting optics, to say the least. But yeah, look, obviously a great turn. The angle was tremendous. Since then, up and down is probably a fair, moderate way of looking at it. A lot of people would say it was a bit of Reno Gattuso. Sometimes maybe good, sometimes maybe
not so good.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
I've enjoyed some wacky. That's exactly what he said. I've enjoyed some wacky visuals. Like perversely, I got a kick out of CM Punk on a table with a Slim Jim logo for 10 minutes. It's just silly.
Yeah, I'm the guy who liked the pipe bomb. Yeah. I did.
Quite a few people did.
Yeah,
to be fair, quite a few people did. But yeah, I think it's ultimately a shame. The John Cena heel turn will eventually just be a footnote rather than this big defining run in his career. But I do think he's going bad babyface, and I think that'll come after this when Cody beats him fair and square, 1, 2, 3. Look, I don't think we're getting Triple H versus Cactus Jack at the 2020 2000 Royal Rumble. Yeah, well, that wasn't in 2020. That would have been very different.
It would have been far and away the best thing they did in 2020.
It probably would have been. But yeah, I think that's how it's going to go. Yeah. Happy ending for the show. Let us know your predictions down in the comment section below. Enjoy SummerSlam.
Enjoy that too.
Yeah, you got 3 months, but enjoy it. And if you haven't had enough SummerSlam in your life, here's a video on your screen right now that you're going to enjoy too. See you later. Bye.
Bye.
See you later. Yes.